Hi, I'm Keith Mondillo, and I've been a college basketball coach and athletic director for over 30 years. I've recruited hundreds of athletes, I've coached championship teams, and helped young people find their place in college athletics. But, guys, today I am not speaking to you as a college coach. I'm speaking to you as a parent and as a guide because what I saw this past weekend at two major recruiting events made it clear. Families need more than highlight films and hope. They need a plan. I was at the two NCAA Live events this past weekend in Atlantic City and Lancaster. The Atlantic City Convention Center, I saw something I've never seen before. It was a boys and girls tournament run simultaneously in the same facility. That meant the entire convention center was packed. There was overlap between boys games and girls games. There was boys AAU coaches intermixing with girls AAU coaches, and which was kind of neat. The Division 1, 2, and 3 college coaches were interacting amongst the men's coaches and the women's coaches. And it was a good environment for the whole. But here's what I did notice. The parents were tight and the kids were tighter. I saw athletes trying to live up to their expectations of the three different people all at once. And those were the parents, their AAU coaches, and the college coaches watching them from the baseline. Let's go back. Let's talk about the parents. I saw parents living and dying with every play. I even talked to a high school coach who came up to me and said her player had no shot at playing at this university. I couldn't understand why not. She had a terrible game today. Well, I said to her, it's 10 a.m. This is her first game. She probably has another game at 1:30. Why would that college coach not just say, hey, she had a bad game? I've seen highlight films of her. I've seen this. She's a good player. They didn't want to hear that. Again, those parents were living and dying with everything. And then those kids felt that. And those kids were not just playing for joy. Some of them were just playing out of fear. And that was just in Atlantic City. In Lancaster, it was the same vibe. It was the same nerves, the same pressure, and really the same uncertainty. And here's the truth. This wasn't just about basketball this weekend. To me, it was about everybody navigating pressure. And most families, they didn't have a roadmap. Now, I want to tell you something that might surprise you. Even with all my years in college athletics, when my own kids started playing youth sports, I felt the same anxiety you probably felt this past weekend. When my kid pitched in Little League, I lived and died on every pitch. When my son played shortstop, I lived and died on every ball hit to him, that he was going to field it cleanly and he was going to throw it cleanly. And obviously, when he got up to bat, I was just make contact. Please don't strike out. So I was in your shoes. I knew exactly what you felt. And I thought I had figured it out. But again, when it's your own child, everything changes. I stopped being a coach. The advice I gave to parents, I wasn't taking. I started to be a parent. And you wonder, am I doing this right? Like, is my 10-year-old behind in his development? Should I have reached out to high school coaches? And am I saying the wrong things to everybody, to my son, to any high school coach? Well, that goes the same for colleges. I saw parents this weekend trying to go out and recruit, trying to do different things. And they were all saying to themselves, and I heard this, are we doing this right? I saw a father say to the mother, are we behind in this recruiting process? Should we have reached out to these coaches sooner? And are we saying the wrong things? This was the same for Little League as it was for high school into college. Then I suddenly understood what every parent at those tournaments was feeling. And that's when I realized this whole system was broke for families. And I'm talking specifically for colleges, for high school students trying to get into colleges and those families. That moment was a wake-up call. Families don't need another recruiting service. And there's tons out there. And you could buy them. You could spend thousands of dollars. a month, a year on all this. But you don't need another highlight video or a template for a highlight video. And you don't need a vague promise to get seen or get the scholarship. What you need is a guide. They need someone who's been on both sides of this, who's been in the coach's seat and in the parent's shoes. And most of all, they need a plan, a real system to follow, one that shows them how to communicate with coaches and how to evaluate schools and how to guide their child without burning out or losing their mind. Why did I build this? It's not to sell products. It's to create transformation for families. While I was helping families out one at a time, I figured I could help more out by starting this business. But to help parents like you to go through a real transformation, I had to create this business. And everything I've created, from the books to the future online courses that I'm about to launch to the one-on-one coaching, has one single mission. It's to take families from confused to clear, from reactive to strategic, from completely overwhelmed to in control. Because recruiting should not feel like guesswork. It should be a guided journey with clear steps and real outcomes. I've already helped hundreds of families make smart, informed decisions, and that's what I want for you. And the mistake that most families make, and why time is running out, is families wait. They hope their child will be discovered. And I saw that this weekend overhearing parents talking. And a spooky nook, when you're in that back gym on the blue courts on court 26 at 9 a.m., how is a coach going to find you? How are they going to know where to find you? How are they going to know what jersey you're wearing? Parents, student athletes, they go to tournaments but don't follow up. They send one email but don't know how to keep the conversation going. They chase those Division I dreams and they don't look at other options at Division II and III. They think effort equals progress, but in recruiting, strategy is everything. And by the time they realize it, it's their senior year and they might be out of options. So the families who work with me, they don't wing it. They lead the process. Before tournament, they will send out smart emails. During the tournament, they know who's watching and who to follow up with after each day's events. And then afterwards, they follow up the right way. They've created school lists that match their child's goals athletically, academically, financially, and emotionally. Their athletes don't feel pressure. They feel prepared. That's success. And it's possible for your family to get that also. Who is this for and who is this not for? This is for the parent who is tired of guessing, for the athlete who has the talent but not the roadmap, for the family who wants options but doesn't know how to open the right doors. This is not for people looking for shortcuts or hacks. This is not the system or the platform for it. This is for families who are ready to lead with clarity, with confidence, and with a coach beside them. So your next step is really simple. And if you made it this far, you probably are ready to do something different. Am I right? You're ready to stop guessing. You're ready to lead your child through this journey with a plan. And here's what I recommend is grab the complete communication bundle. It includes 3 of the most powerful resources that I've created over the years. First one is the Parents Recruiting Survival Guide. The main focus is avoiding the 5 critical mistakes that derail 93% of the families in this process. The second book is the Email Playbook. It's 39 copy and paste templates that get coaches ready to reply in 24 hours. And that's exactly what I talk about when you try and get coaches to follow you at an AAU or club event, following up after, during, and before the event. And then the third book is the Q&A Playbook. It's the exact questions to ask and who to ask them to from the first call to your final commitment. And this just is not information. It's a full recruiting communication system. It's built for real families, built by a coach and a parent who has lived it. My son and daughter went through this recruiting process in high school, and it opened my eyes to a million things. And if you're ready, click the link below and let's start this journey together. You don't need another tournament or recruiting service. You need a guide and you need a plan. Click the link below and let's start this journey together. And again, I'm Keith Mondillo. Good luck.